Hi, I'm Matt Woodfill, and once again, you have tuned in to an episode of Red Letters. I'm so excited today that we have our guest, the one, the only, Reggie Sweet Johnson, three-time world champion boxer. So I want to welcome to Red Letters, Reggie Sweet Johnson. Welcome, Reggie.
Thank you for having me, man.
Now, Reggie, tell me, how did you get the nickname? Is it Sweets or Sweet?
Well, people get it mixed up sometimes. Like you just said, sweets. I always
But you don't like sweets, right?
Yeah, I don't like the S on it.
Okay, so you're
just sweet.
It's sweet with no S, right?
And let me explain this to you.
Okay.
Sweet. We came up with that. Think about this.
Okay.
Standing where eternal efforts tower. Sweet.
Okay. Sweet. Okay, and that's how you came across that nickname.
Right.
Who
right.
named you that nickname, Reggie?
Well, it was the late Mr. James Carter.
Okay.
Was calling me way back when I was a kid. Sweet.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Were you a sweet kid?
Oh, absolutely, I was a sweet kid. Yeah, sweet
You're a
kid.
sweet guy, right?
Yeah, I'm a sweet guy.
Awesome,
I love people, all people, man. I don't judge people by the color of their skin.
Yes.
That's
what I like about you too.
Sometimes it pays very low on me because even with the people
Right.
sleeping up under the bridges,
Right.
I just love helping people, man. I was always taught that.
Right. Well, you're just like Jesus.
Yeah.
Because I believe there's only one race. It's called the human race.
Absolutely.
And you know,
Absolutely.
God is light.
Absolutely.
That's what the Bible says, right? And so when you take light and you put it through the prism, it comes out many different colors.
That's right. You're right.
And so we must understand when we see people of many different colors, we know God's in that place.
And I always think in retrospect, a lot of time, like we having this conversation, if it wasn't for the late Mr. James Carter.
Yes. Now tell me who James Carter was.
He was the head coach at the Salvation Army Boys Club where I started boxing. My uncle, the late Kennard Man Walker, him and his best friend, Dennis Benjamin, they lived in the same neighborhood, was boxing. And I remember one day they took me to the gym and they put me in there with a kid who had like almost 30 amateur fights.
Oh, wow.
Keep in mind, I'm 12 years old. I think this kid, I think he was 13 to 14, a couple of years older than I was. And I just remember the late Mr. James Carter after those 3 rounds, and I was tired too because that's the first time I had been in a boxing ring.
Right.
And Mr. Carter taking the headgear and the gloves off, and Mr. Carter said, "Young man, don't you know that you can become champion of the world?"
Wow.
And I held on to that.
Right.
And
So those words propelled you to your future.
Not only the words, but just being in that boxing,
Right.
You know, you when you're young and coming from Fifth Ward, you're gonna have street fights when you're a real young kid.
Well, saying that because words have power, right?
Absolutely.
They have power to do good, or they have power to do bad. The Bible the Bible says death and life are in the power of the words. So this podcast, Reggie, is called Red Letters, which are the words in red in the Bible of Jesus.
Wow.
And Jesus says, my words, red letters, they produce life and they are spirit. They're spirit and life. And so this episode, I want to focus in on some of the red letters of Jesus in John chapter 14, verse 6. Jesus, red letters, is speaking, and Jesus says, I am the way, I am the truth, and I am the light. So I want to go back to your early beginnings and I want to track your story and find out how you found the way, who is Jesus, which led to the truth, who is Jesus, which led you to say yes to Christ, which produced eternal life in your life. So take me back to Fifth Ward. That's where you grew up, right?
Right.
Fifth Ward. It was a rough neighborhood. Tell us about the neighborhood a little bit.
Well, when I think in retrospect and you think about it, when you're a young kid, you're just a little young kid.
Right.
You're going to get into little fights or what's going on in the neighborhood. But like people always say, well, how you was raised in Fifth Ward? I mean, I was a kid.
Right.
And we had fun. And I don't know how this came with me, but I was always that kid that defended the kids that was being bullied or, I would stop
So even at an early age, you're the guy that would defend the underdog against the bully, huh?
Absolutely.
And you were getting a lot of fights at school?
Oh, at school and in the hood, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So growing up, I know a little bit about your backstory. I know your dad was incarcerated, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, my dad.
At what age was your dad incarcerated? How old were you, Reggie?
I'm talking about, I think I was 6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay.
He spent a lot of time in, I got twin sisters.
Okay.
They were, 4 or 5 years younger than I am. And I remember going with my mother to visit my dad, sitting behind that big, thick glass window.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So your dad was incarcerated, so you were raised by your mom pretty much, right?
Well, my mom, my grandmother.
Okay, it was a family affair, right?
There you go. My uncle, the late Mr. James Carter, who became my boxing coach.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you found yourself at an early age, growing up in the 5th Ward, getting in a lot of fights at school.
Oh, yeah.
And then your uncle, was your uncle that learned about, how you had a gift in boxing?
Well, he took me to the gym with him one day, and they put me in there. That's when he found out.
Okay, so your uncle was a boxer?
Yeah, he was a boxer too. And him and his best friend, Dennis Benjamin, those two guys, man, they could have and they should have made a lot of noise in boxing too. But, when you live in the street life and boxing, those two things are very
So when he took you to the gym, he recognized the gift that you had.
Oh, absolutely. Not only did he show that, hey, man, there's something special about this kid, but the boxing coach, the late Mr. James Carter, he was the one, when he took the headgear off and the gloves, he said, young man, don't you know you can become champion of the world? Yeah. Keep in mind, I'm 12 years old. He's telling that to a 12-year-old kid.
But he was speaking into your future, Reggie.
Yeah.
And that inspired you, right?
Absolutely.
That someone believed in you.
Absolutely. It inspired me, but keep in mind, I'm a young 12-year-old kid. I just found something that I love to do, and then, I'm used to fighting, but
but someone believing in you spoke into your future, and then you started believing in yourself. This could possibly happen in my life.
Absolutely, because I found something that day, man, that, hey, no more football, no more baseball, no more soccer, no more even playing, what's the game? What's the game we used to play as a kid? Like where everybody go hide and you got to find out what it. Hey, hide and seek. I did none of that.
You just focused on boxing.
On boxing, yes.
Because this guy, Mr. Carter, is his name, right?
Yeah, Mr. James Carter.
And he was the guy that discovered you.
Right.
And saw that you had a gift of boxing, and then began to speak into your future. Yes. And you begin to believe those words, and God set you on a path. Yeah. Remember the red letters, Jesus is the way, he's the truth. And it'll lead to the life, who is Jesus. And so you started this way, okay? Someone believed in you, Mr. Carter.
Right.
And then you started going to the boys club, right? And training.
Yeah.
But your mom, you told me your mom wasn't too keen on you boxing.
She really didn't want me doing that. But no woman is going to want to see their little kid or
their son.
Or their son, getting hit in the face or beat up.
Right. So Mr. Carter saw so he had to go talk to your mom, right?
Absolutely.
To convince her. Tell us about that story.
Well, this is what kind of like how Mr. Carter kind of closed the deal. He's told my mother, he said, listen, if you let your son do this, trust me, all that stuff he's doing in school, he's going to have to make a decision. Do you want to box or do you want to be fighting in school?
Okay.
And he was right. I wanted to box.
Yeah.
And,
so it got you kind of out of trouble.
Yeah, out of trouble. I didn't get in trouble in school. I mean, that's when I stopped getting suspended from school.
From school.
Right.
When you started on that way, that pathway.
Right.
And so he was able to convince your mom, and then you started really training.
Oh.
Tell us about your training. How often did you train with Mr. Carter?
Well, I was at the boys club at least, 4 or 5 times a week.
Okay.
Yeah, we was at the Salvation Army Boys
Just
Club.
training.
Just training.
And how old were you at this time?
12.
12
I started
years
at
young.
12.
And when was your first actual fight? How old?
That's another thing.
I know you had gotten fights at school, but when was your actual first boxing fight?
Okay, yeah. Man, it's been so long, but I think I had trained for like about maybe two and a half months, but then.
Oh, that's it, huh?
I had my first amateur fight, and I lost a decision. I got disqualified for slapping. I was throwing the punches so fast. That's when they had the white on the end of the glove.
Okay.
And I wasn't turning it over.
Oh, that's illegal, huh? You can't do that.
Yeah, I guess you can call it illegal.
It's kind of like slapping like this, huh? You can't do that.
But that's a heavy word to use. That's illegal, man. You hitting the man not with the boy. No, but you had to, you're right. You had to turn the gloves over.
So you had to turn it and hit him on the face of your...
Yeah. So my first fight, I got disqualified, and it was a fight that I was winning, but I got disqualified. Lost the second, third, fourth, but when I won that fifth fight...
So you lost 4 fights before you won your first fight?
Right.
Wow.
And
you didn't quit, right?
Oh, no.
You didn't quit because, once again, those words that Mr. Carter spoke over you, that one day you could be a world champion,
and not only
they resonated.
I was loving what I was doing.
Oh, you loved what you did.
I fell in love.
It was your gift, and you loved it.
I loved it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was blessed by the best at the age of 12 years old to have that
gift.
You know, that gift walk into my life, boxing.
So God gave you the gift and set you on this pathway. And you won your first fight. You're at your sixth fight. You won it, right?
No, I lost my first
5,
4,
right?
And then I won the 5th.
Okay, the 5th one.
And
then you started saying, okay, I'm believing in myself.
And the next time I lost a fight, I think it was in the JO Nationals in the finals. I think I had almost, I had a little over 30-something fights, amateur fights then.
Tell me about a little bit, as you're taking this journey, you found this gift that God has given you, which is boxing. God hooked you up with the right person, Mr. Carter. He invested in you. He spoke positive words into your life. He believed in you. Tell me about where you were spiritually, Reggie, at that age. What was your spiritual background?
Well, the spiritual background was...
Were you raised in the church?
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. Keep in mind, we went to church early that morning, and we all came back home at 7.
At 7 at night, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like late in the evening.
And this is you
with
went to
my
church?
Grandmother.
Okay, with your grandmother.
Yeah, with her church.
Okay, and you it was a church in the 5th Ward there that you
No,
went?
that wasn't. It was in Acres Home, because it was a church I used to go to right by the apartments, Coke Apartments.
Okay.
Right across I used to go to, but my grandmother moved out of 5th Ward. My mother was still staying there.
Okay.
And I used to always be at my grandmother's house because I had an uncle. Me and him was the same age.
Oh, okay.
And we grew up together.
Okay, and y'all hung out together at your grandmother's house.
Yeah, and that's when I started going to church with my grandmother.
Okay.
Most Sundays. And I ended up going to school out there too with her.
Okay, okay. And that kind of set your foundation, your spiritual foundation with Jesus Christ, huh?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. At the age of 12, the older you get, you really understand. And I can only remember just getting there, sitting there, and you're not being able to chew gum. And
it was very strict, huh?
Yeah, very strict.
Don't move.
Oh, don't move.
Listen to the pastor.
You can't be talking and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Then they make you go, if they catch you doing something you're not supposed to be doing, they'll make you go stand up in the corner somewhere at the church.
What a great heritage from your grandmother. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so that laid a good foundation spiritually, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And then as you continued your journey, as you grew in your gift of boxing, God began to promote you, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And you won the world championship not once, not twice, but you won it. This is one of his world championship belts.
Right.
You won it 3 times, right? Tell us about that, Reggie. How did that happen?
Well,
tell us about the first time you won the world championship.
Well, let me go back. The first time I fought for the world title.
Who was that against?
James Lights Out Tony.
Okay, James Tony.
But I want to tell this story. I was here in Houston, and the people sent me to, Bob Jordan was the manager, sent me to South Africa during apartheid.
Okay.
And I went over there with the late Jamie Fields. He's deceased now, and he's a guy, one of the coaches that came from Louisiana that was here training us.
You were going to Africa to fight? South Africa to during apartheid to box?
Yeah. I fought during that time. I mean, keep in mind, I don't know what apartheid. I'm just a fighter.
Right.
And so they send me over there, and I fight their guy. I'm over there like about a month and a couple of weeks before the fight, so I'm over there running, training.
Right.
over there acting like Muhammad Ali.
What does he say? Run like a butterfly,
float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Right?
Yeah.
Did you have a saying or anything like that?
Yeah. Well, I said that.
What a great saying, right?
I had his saying. Yes.
Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Okay.
Yeah, but man, we was over there training in South Africa, and these people, I'm fighting their guy.
Okay.
So they try to, I was smart enough to know. Now they trying to get me to do all this stuff, have me doing. Hey, I'm here to fight. I'm not here to do all this.
Right.
Stuff. It was certain things that me and the coach did, but I was smart enough not to, because they was trying to wear me down.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But to make a long story short, Charles Oosthuizen is the guy I fought, and I think 7th round.
I
beat him I was beating him
Did you
so
knock
bad.
him out?
No, I beat him so bad his corner threw the towel in.
Oh, just said enough.
Yeah.
He's gonna get hurt.
Yeah, I got to get that fight. I got that on VHS.
Oh, do you?
I'm gonna get it put on the CD. And
yeah,
give
you
one
need
of
to.
them.
We need to go check that out.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
So you won that fight as he threw in the towel.
Right.
And did that give you a title, a world championship title?
No,
or that wasn't a title
That
belt?
wasn't a title fight.
But you came back home, and tell us what happened after that. Doors began to open up?
Well, yeah, doors.
Fights?
Well, I can't say doors began to open up, but when I came back, that's why I ended up moving to California, because Bob Jordan. I don't.
Now, Bob Jordan's one of your managers?
Yeah, he was one of the managers, and me and him is still like this here.
Okay.
And he had a whole bunch. He had Mike Williams, who played in the Rocky.
Okay.
For him, he had a whole bunch of fighters. He had Sherman Griffin, who was on the U.S. team with me during that time.
Okay.
He fought 78. I fought 56. But Bob Jordan sent me over there, but I know it was during a time where he was like getting rid of the fighters.
Okay.
I think he was trying to get out of the business.
I was time to retire.
And I don't know if he sent me over there banking or thinking that I was going to lose, and then he can say, hey, okay, with Reggie.
Enough with Reggie.
But I was the only one. I was the only fighter he had that was winning fights.
Oh, wow.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So think about it. I come back, and hey, man, I won. I stopped him in the 7th round, this and that.
And that was a big win for you, huh?
Yeah, a very big win. But I till this day, I don't know, and I still haven't. All them years went by, I still haven't asked this man. Okay. And I still talk to him. Go to his house.
To him today.
Man, did you really send me over there
to get beat
banking? Up? No, banking wanted me to lose so you can get out of the business.
Right.
But
this is how I say it. This is what the Bible says. What the enemy meant for evil, God had turned around for your good, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And so, God, you're on this way because Jesus is the way. He's the truth and the life.
Right.
So you go to South Africa, God, you win this boxing fight. You come back home. And when did you win your first world championship?
Well, my first
title bout.
My first world title fight was in '91. James Lights Out Tony.
91.
I think I won that fight. If you go watch that fight, but they gave it to him. I had him down and everything, and he had fought Michael Nunn, second to none, who was my mandatory. But they did a political thing and fought him. But he's supposed to have been fighting me.
You. Okay.
And James Toney was losing against Michael Nunn, but he came back and stopped Nunn.
Oh, okay.
So James Toney had to fight me. And he fought me 6 weeks after he fought Nunn.
Okay.
Yeah, which is, that's...
And you won, you beat James Toney?
No.
That's, you
I
lost.
beat him, but they gave it to him.
Yeah, they gave it to him.
Yeah.
But when did you win your first
title
title
the first
belt?
world title fight was probably I think, 5-6 months after that, I fought Irish Steve Collins from Ireland.
Oh, from Ireland, okay.
For the WBA middleweight world
And that was
title
in
fight.
Mississippi, you were saying?
No, that wasn't in Mississippi. We was in that fight was in New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Yeah, New Jersey.
And that's when you won your first world championship
That was my first
title.
world title fight. I won it in my second try.
And how old were you then?
Man, I had to be about 23, 24.
Wow, 23, 24.
Yeah, 23, 24.
And so did you knock him out?
No.
Or was
it
it by
went
decision?
The distance.
It went the distance.
Man, that Irish boy was tough.
And what's how many rounds is the
It
distance?
went 12 rounds.
12
It wasn't
rounds.
15, and they had already changed it to 12.
12 rounds. And so tell us, after you won that first title, how did your life change, Reggie? How did it change?
Well,
because now you're in the lights. Reggie Sweet Johnson, world champion.
Well, life changed, but man, I was
Were you
just
getting a lot of interviews and those kind of things?
A lot of interviews.
People wanting to fight you now?
Yeah, newspapers, different, everybody, these podcasts, like what we doing now.
Yeah, right, exactly.
All this stuff. back then the podcast wasn't as popular
as it
back
is today,
then,
right?
But yeah, you know, I had.
And what weight class was that? That was
160. Middleweight. That's middleweight.
160.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so you won that title. That was your first title. How many years later did you win the second title?
So, well, you know, I got hit on the head for a living, man. I got to really think about this. Now, when you said like the second world title,
because you were in a different weight class when you won the second one, right?
Yeah. But see, what happened was, I went to Argentina. I fought John David Jackson.
Okay.
And defended my world title, and I beat the man over there. But I think there's 2 Americans over there. I beat him, but they gave it to him.
Oh, so.
And guess what he did? He went back over there to fight the guy from Argentina.
So there's a lot of politics in boxing.
A lot of politics.
What did you say earlier about, we're not going to go to the politics route, but.
Politics.
Politics.
Politics, yeah. Politics and politics. So John David Jackson, this is a guy that I knew from California because we was training the same thing. And what's so crazy about that too, another thing, with John David Jackson, he wouldn't go back over there and fight that guy. So they stripped him. That's how I ended up going to fight the guy from Argentina.
And then you beat the guy from Argentina?
No. Well, I beat him twice. Just like I beat John David Jackson. When I fought him, it was in Argentina. 2 Americans fighting in Argentina. See, they setting it up for them 2 guys to fight each other.
So you've gone national. South Africa, Argentina.
Oh,
so
Sweden.
You're fighting all over around the world, huh?
Sweden, Germany, Denmark, Japan.
Oh, wow.
I've been, I think it's 7 continents.
So from the 5th ward, Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Jesus took you from 5th ward, put you on a pathway.
Yes, he did.
Used your talent, used your gift.
Yeah.
Mr. Carter spoke into your life. You're going to be world champion one day. You believed him, and God set you on this pathway.
Yeah.
And you won your first title. Second title, who'd you beat?
Well, the second world title, I fought. This was during a time to where, you know, I was having problems with promoters and sitting out contracts, things of that nature. And Bill Benton, the guy who owns the gym downtown, got a call for William Guthrie, who had just won the light heavyweight world title, which is 175 pounds. Got a call for Frank Tate, who I lost to in the Olympic trials.
Oh, yeah, Olympics.
Who went on to win the gold medal.
Did you win a medal at the Olympics?
No. I didn't fight in the. I lost. I lost in the trials.
Oh, in the trials, so you never made.
So Frank Tate, the guy from Detroit, he signed with the lady Josephine Abercrombie, who was signing all the fighters.
Okay.
But anyway, that fight was for him, and he wouldn't. He didn't want to fight.
Okay.
And then Bill Benton, who knew me, who owned the gym, he said, "Listen, I know somebody that'll fight him, but I mean, I'm pretty sure Reggie Johnson will fight him." They said, "No, well, Reggie is a middleweight."
Oh, okay.
And they said, "Yeah,
so
but
you had
Reggie
to start going to McDonald's and eat some hamburgers, huh?
Yeah, but I was getting
Put
ready
some weight on.
No, but I was having a problem making 60. I was getting ready. My next fight, I was going to move up to 168.
Because middleweight, you told me, is 160. Okay.
So I was getting ready to move up to 68, but 68. I just took that up when that came.
Yep.
I went on to 75 and fought for the world title.
75.
Yeah.
And you beat him.
Yeah, it was knockout of the year.
Knockout of the year against
William Guthrie.
William Guthrie.
Yeah.
Tell us about that
fight.
fight.
William Guthrie is from St. Louis.
And what year is that?
That was in '98.
And they call it the knockout of the year?
It was the knockout of the year, yeah.
Wow. Take us back to how you did that. Was it a right hook, a left hook, an uppercut?
Well, let me bring you up to speed with this. So, but I had already met William Guthrie.
Okay, you met him.
Because he was here in Houston.
Okay.
Training with, I can't think of the guy's name, but the guy was getting ready to fight the guy in Russia for the world title. William Guthrie, like myself, is southpaw, left-handed, fight left-handed.
Okay. You're a southpaw, right?
Yeah. He's southpaw too. So they had William Guthrie here in Houston sparring with that guy, and then they called me, and we was getting paid to spar with this guy who's getting ready to go to Russia to fight the southpaw guy.
Okay.
So me and him riding around. I think he meet one of my lady friends. I'm showing him around Houston. This is my hometown, right?
Yeah.
And think about that. Years later, we end up fighting each other.
In the ring for the title.
Yeah, fighting each other.
That's awesome.
We end up having to fight each other.
And so you knocked him out, KO.
Well, yeah, I knocked him out.
knockout of the year or something?
He was trying to knock me out too. I just got him before he got me.
Was it the right hook or the left hook?
Right hook.
Right hook.
Right. See, I'm a converted southpaw. That throws a lot of people off.
Okay. They're expecting the left, and you come with the right.
Yeah. Because if you
and it's lights out.
If you're orthodox, you're supposed to jab with your left.
Yeah.
Because it's set up to your powerful right hand.
Okay.
But think about it. I'm a converted southpaw. I can fight both ways, but I'm a converted southpaw. I jab with my strong hand.
Yeah. Okay.
So think about it. If I'm jabbing with this, they teach you to go away from this. But think about it. If they trying to get away from this, they going right into my right hand. Right. That's what I hit him with, a right hook.
And as an early age, did Mr. Carter teach you that, or is that just through your times of training, your trainers?
When I first started boxing, they started me off like that, but I told him I just feel comfortable. He said, "Okay, we'll just stay like that." Okay. But over the years, I can go both ways. Wow. Now, but I'm better.
Multi-talented. Yeah. So you've won the 2 world championship. Mm-hmm. Now take us to the 3rd one as we kind of wrap this up.
Well, the 3rd world title, man, I got that fight was for God, what's the fighter name? This fight was for another fighter too. And this fighter,
same weight class?
Yeah, no, it was 175.
175.
175. But this guy wouldn't take the fight as well, and it's like history repeating itself. And I took the fight, and I fought a guy that I used to spar with when I was in California, late Julio Gonzalez. Okay. He was a great guy. Me and him was like this. We used to spar each other.
So you had to fight a lot of your friends, huh?
Yeah. Me and him was real close. We sparred each other.
Did that ever impact you going into that battle? Are you all like, okay, I got to win this? Or did that impact you how you hit or anything? Because he's your friend, huh? You're hitting your friend, or no?
Well, when that bell rings, when somebody's swinging at you trying to knock your teeth out, man, you don't be thinking about no friends
anymore.
You don't think about friend. You don't think about girlfriend. You don't.
You think about knocking them out. Huh?
You don't think about mama and daddy being upset with you. You don't think about none of it. You thinking about keeping your teeth.
Okay, and winning, right?
Yeah, and winning.
Winning. Exactly.
Yeah.
So that was the 3rd title you won.
That was the 3rd title. Yes.
So tell me, as you look back on your life, tell me how the Lord Jesus Christ, who is the way, the truth, and the life, tell me how you see his hand in your life, Reggie, now that you're now retired. Yeah. They just inducted you into the Los Angeles Boxing Hall of Fame, right?
The National Boxing Hall of Fame.
Wow, that's a great honor.
National.
You're in the National Boxing Hall of Fame in Los Angeles, California.
In Los Angeles, California. And keep in mind, 2-3 years ago, I came up for the International Boxing Hall of Fame. And that's in upstate New York where they have that. And I've been there about 8, 9, maybe 10 times over the years. Okay. I think the first time I went was 2005.
So that's the next honor you'll receive.
Yeah. My name already came up, so I think this national,
next time
hopefully that'll shoe me into that.
Wow. But already you're in the L.A. Boxing Hall of Fame. The National.
The American Hall of Fame.
What a great honor. What a great honor. And so looking on your life, now that you're retired, you've been honored to be in the Hall of Fame. And so how do you see God, who is the way? Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Reflecting on your life from when you grew up in 5th Ward, getting in fights in school, getting expelled. God brings this gentleman into your life through your uncle, boys club, Mr. Carter. One thing leads to another. You have this gift. He speaks into your life. You win 3 world championship titles. You're in the Hall of Fame. How do you see God, who is Jesus, who's the way, the truth, and life, hand upon your life? Share with me how you see the Lord, how he's just directed your path in your life to be a witness for him.
I mean, I can really only say I was blessed by the best.
Yes.
And, God, I mean.
So do you attribute it to your grandmother pretty much raising you in the church?
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
As a foundation?
Yeah. The church, having the late Mr. James Carter, who was a
strong believer.
He had served in the Army.
Yep.
Had been all over the world, protecting our country.
Yes.
Fighting for our country.
Yes.
And when I think in retrospect what that man said, young man, you can become champion of the world. And I grabbed that and I held on to that. And, even back then when I was a young kid, I'm like, I heard him.
Yep.
And I mean, but keep in mind, once I got in there and started boxing, I just knew I just wanted to box.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's amazing because I look on my life and God places strategic people in your life, in your journey to impact your life.
Absolutely.
Like your mom, your grandmother, then Mr. Carter, your uncle. Your uncle was a big impact.
The late Kenneth Man Walker, we lost him about a year and a half ago. And yeah, man, if it wasn't for him and Dennis Benjamin, his friend, who I go see every now and then in Northwood Manor, where my grandmother had bought the new home and stuff way back in the day. He still lives out there, but I go see him every once in a while.
Okay.
But like I say, keep in mind, like my uncle and him, you know, if them guys would have, you know, had the mindset, then those guys could have made a lot of
but they invested in you, right?
Yeah.
They saw your potential.
Yeah.
And decided to pour their life into you.
Even back when I was a kid, we going to amateur fights.
Right.
They pull up, and they always let me out the car if we're not in the Salvation Army van. If they driving, they send me in there, and they stay out there in the car and smoke they weed or whatever.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And then they still go in there and fight and still was whooping guys, and you know, but you know that. You get to a certain level, that catch up with you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, like my
but
uncle.
you never did the drugs, the alcohol. You never touched that stuff.
No, I don't. Never.
Because of a great foundation, right?
Never, man. I was.
Even though in Fifth Ward, that was all around you, right?
Oh yeah,
the
man.
prostitution, the drugs, the alcohol, the gangs.
Everything.
That was all around you, but you never participated in that.
Everything, and like I said, man, I was just so focused. And keep in mind now, really, I was focused on helping my mother, too. I grew up fast. I was the man of the house when I was 13, 14 years old.
So you had to grow up fast.
Yeah, I had to grow up fast.
Take care of your mama.
And my two sisters, my twin sisters.
Two sisters, wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's cool for me to hear you talk and how God's brought you to this point. He's promoted you, and he's used people in your life. And how I believe you're a great witness for the Lord Jesus Christ, Reggie. And your testimony is powerful because Jesus is the way, he's the truth, and he's the life. And he's used people in your life to get you where you are today as a man of God. And so you told me, as we close, you're the only world champion boxer that was born in Houston, right?
No, I said I was.
You're the first.
The first, there you
You're the first world champion. George Foreman was born in Marshall, Texas.
Right. And Juan Diaz is born here. He's people from Mexico, but he was born here.
Okay.
And he won it. And now we have the Chalo boys, the two Chalo brothers, the twin boys. Both of them won world titles.
Wow.
And their dad used to be in the gym with me. Their dad's a little older than me, but I remember being in the gym training when, you know, their dad was fighting.
But you're the first.
But I'm the first born and reared in Houston.
In Houston, Texas, Fifth Ward.
Yeah.
You're a hometown boy.
Hometown boy.
And the first world champion boxer that's from Houston, Texas.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, boxer. I'm boxing. And I think I was the first one to win a world title. I think the Houston Rockets, well, even the Rockets, that's not a world title. That's a national, but, you know, to win the big championship, I was the first.
So you're a legend, I guess. I call you a legend.
If that's what you want to call it, but I see it as I look at it from being a legend, but I still love boxing. And man, if they wasn't paying the money I made, I still would be doing it.
Because it's a gift God gave you.
Yeah,
and you're using it for his glory.
Oh, yeah.
In Jesus' name.
Yeah. Being able to travel the world.
Yes.
I mean, man.
Impacting young kids that have a gift. Speaking into their life, like Mr. Carter spoke into your life.
Oh, absolutely. And that's another thing.
Giving back.
See, everything happened for a reason. Yes. I remember when I was young, before I started boxing, I used to fly every summer to Tucson, Arizona, because my dad's mother had moved there.
Okay.
And they used to fly me there every summer. I stayed the summer. One time I even went to school there one year. But like I said, when I started boxing, I wasn't going back there.
Right.
But I'm thinking about the flying, man, because I was even as a little kid, when I found out what was really going on, man, I was scared to fly on them planes.
Scared to fly.
So think about that. My whole life, I had to. Yeah. I had to do it.
Overcome that fear to fly. Cause
that's right.
To go box,
Yeah, Sweden, Germany, Denmark, Japan.
Wow.
Man, I've been to a lot of places.
Wow, that's great.
A lot of places. The only places, I think, is 7 continents. I haven't been to the Middle East.
Wow.
That's it. Yeah.
Well, I know God has used you and continues to use you, Reggie. And I want to thank you for being on Red Letters podcast today.
Red Letters.
What a great episode today. And so for those of you that have tuned in, I want to thank you for watching today with the one, the only 3-time world champion boxer, Reggie Sweet Johnson. Go ahead and share this episode with others that would love to hear this. But I want to remind you of the red letters, John 14:6. Jesus said, I am the way, I am the truth, and I am the life. Thank you for watching Red Letters today.